Greetings everyone, welcome back. Okay, so for today we're gonna steer a bit away from the Korean pros and all those Korean matches I've been uploading. I already followed several series from the G-Star 2010 and gonna head back into another event outside of Korea. This one is the Team Liquid Open, and I think this match was played a couple of days ago. I'm gonna be following this series starting with game 1, and I think it's gonna be a nice face-off because it has a player that I never followed before and another one that is very well known by the community, so hopefully it's gonna be a very good match. So you have here the Red Terran, it's Drewbie. Drewbie, a member of Team Root Gaming, is a Canadian Terran player. He's been rising in the community. I'm not sure if I can say that, but yeah, he is. He's like a rising star. He starts showing up, now start playing on some of those big events, and people actually know him pretty well now. Member of Team Root Gaming, quite a good North American team. And well, Drewbie is fairly well known nowadays, and well, all over the world people can watch the VODs and just get to know the new players. And yeah, Drewbie is good enough to just be amongst the best, and hopefully he's gonna improve his skills while the time passes by. And he's gonna be facing here against one of the well-known members of the community, TheLittleOne, member of Team Liquid. As you guys know, he was in Korea, trying his luck on the GSLs. Did fairly good. He was almost clinching a Code S, so he could stay there and have the Code S to play on the tournaments, but well, he decided to just head back, and things are just heading a different way now for TLO. As far as I noticed, he was injured for a little while now, that's why he wasn't playing that frequently, but hopefully he's gonna get better and be ready to play on the big tournaments once again. So he's facing here against Drewbie. It's going to be European versus North American face-off, TLO being a German and Drewbie being a Canadian, and hopefully you're going to be going for a very nice game. Going to be following what they're doing at the moment. As you can see, no early hatchery going on for TLO. It's something that has been slowly changing amongst the high-ranked players. They're trying to play more defensively and risking less, because with the novelty, I mean, so to speak, of having a lot of 2-racks openings, what happens is that the pressure sometimes is just way too much, way too early, and the Terran players end up just crushing the Zerg player early on in the game. So the idea is to just get a spawning pool first, get some Zerglings out, make sure that you're going to be able to defend what you already established, and then go for the Expo. And as you can see, that's exactly what TLO is doing at the moment. He got his Expo at like 19 supply, if I'm not mistaken, and meanwhile he took his time to steal the gas from Drewbie, but I don't think Drewbie is very worried about it, because as you guys noticed, he didn't pick up any early gas, and he's just working out of 1 racks into expansion, it seems like it. Command center already getting finished, so he's gonna prepare his Expo pretty soon, establish his economy, I would say, and both players apparently will be preparing for an early game. Now, picking up both gas at the same time, while TLO is just getting his hatchery on the natural Expo done, and there's a couple of Zerglings roaming around. You guys already seen 2 of them poking at that supply depot, but I mean, there's not much to do, it's basically walled off, and there's already plenty of Marines roaming around. So I don't think these couple of Zerglings will be able to do much. What TLO needs to do is that lots of Marines coming down, 4 of them, and I don't see many defenses, and he's even expanding again and taking a chance, just rolling the dice and going for the high mineral field. This is kind of risky by TLO, but if he's able to keep that base unknown, just secret, he might be able to get a big boost on his economy, and that will obviously show on his army count later on the game. For now he doesn't have much of a defense, but yeah, it was enough to fend off this group of 4 Marines. The Queen was able to just poke at them and shoo them away, and now TLO is sending several Zerglings heading north into the main base of Drewbie, while Drewbie prepares to establish his natural Expo as well. So both players going for a fairly heavy econ game for now. No early pressure, no early harass. You only see like Drewbie advancing with 4 Marines, checking what's going on, just making sure that TLO had some defenses. And now a push into the natural Expo of Drewbie. Drewbie apparently has enough Marines. The Zerglings trying to poke at those Marines, but there weren't enough and didn't get us around, so just failed there on that attempt. TLO now knows that he is working out of 2 bases and slowly approaching 2 overlords, probably to keep tabs on any movement because they're spawned on very close locations by air. So as you might imagine, he can have some medivac drops on his base. And meanwhile, Drewbie transitioning from those barracks and those marines into 2 factories. So I think he's gonna go for some mech now. You guys know that Hellions are fairly effective against Zerglings and drones, so we might be seeing some. There it is, one with the tech lab researching the Infernal Pre-Igniter, and the other one getting 2 Hellions at the same time, so we're gonna have some mass Hellion play, while TLO is already working out of 3 bases, one of them being the rich mineral field, so doing very well econ-wise. As you guys can see, he's pulling a bit ahead. Still balanced, harvester count is fairly similar as well. And the mules are actually balancing the game for now, but this will have reflections, especially on the mid and late game if we actually get there. Zergling speed getting ready, and he's upgrading his hatchery into a lair, but on the natural expo instead of being on the main base. Notice how he's placing both of his overlords here. This one apparently is going to be a sacrificial one, maybe. Oh, he just went there to spot the factories, exactly. TLO spotted both factories, so he knows that Drewbie is transitioning into mech, and incoming a lot of Hellions all the way down, and they're gonna start wreaking havoc onto the mineral lines from TLO, unless he decides to go maybe for some roaches would be nice. The roach warren is already getting built, as you guys can see, there it is, but these Hellions will be able to arrive here even before it's built, so there's no roaches around, only the queens trying to poke at this mass Hellion advance, and gladly TLO doesn't have much of a drone count on his natural expo for now, so he probably just pulled them into the other base, and I think that's just working on his benefit at the moment, because if he had a lot of drones there, well, we would have like the biggest roast ever. Incoming a big wave of Zerglings trying to get a nice surround, but it's kinda hard on Blue Flame Hellions. Hellions just being able to manage it, 3 of them surviving and 3 more coming for the backup, so 6 Hellions roaming around. Keep in mind that I'm pretty sure that Drewbie still doesn't know that that base on the... yeah, there it is, you see? He doesn't know that that base on the rich mineral field is already working, so TLO just getting that big benefit. Queen down, Spinecrawler trying to establish some defense there. A nice lineup here containing the advance from those Zerglings and stopping them from actually having a good surround. Now some roaches is final out and helping out killing these Hellions one by one. There's still plenty of them roaming around, and they're just disrupting the economy from TLO, because they force TLO to just move around all the drones and make sure that they don't get killed. A nice poke there by a Spinecrawler, and the Hellion harass is finished for now. So TLO still working fine. He is checking what was going on Drewbie's base. As you guys saw, Drewbie already preparing to pick up his 3rd base. Let's take a look at what TLO already saw here. Yeah, look, it saw all the buildings, it checked everything going on here. Now going for more racks, 2 more racks play, backed up by all these factories. So we're gonna have some Marine and Marauder, I would say, M&M backed up by the mech. Hellions are very effective, and siege tanks are a very effective counter against roaches, especially with the siege tech. So apparently Drewbie is working fine. He's getting his plan set and ready to go, and having a very nice approach to this game, because he's basically establishing all the counters required to face off against TLO's units. So siege tanks and Hellions backed up by Marines and Marauders facing against roaches and Zerglings, and in come the roaches advancing into the natural expo, trying to get a nice surround onto the siege tanks. Nice bash there, destroying 2 siege tanks, and now there's not much left of ROOTdrewbie's forces. He's trying to shoo away this group, and I think he was successful on this occasion. All the roaches from TLO getting pushed back once again, but he took his time to just prepare his command center on the 3rd base and getting a planetary fortress. It's a good option. It's kind of hard to defend this base usually. The ramps are fairly big, fairly large, plenty of room to get nice concaves as well, so not very easy to defend the place. But at the moment Drewbie doesn't have much of an army count. Still fairly close there. Incoming drop meanwhile from Drewbie onto the main base of TLO. It's gonna be Hellion harass into that mineral line, I would say. And meanwhile, while this harass occurs here, let's take a look at what's going on the unit composition. Just got pulled back. Drewbie pulled back with his medivac. Wasn't much of an harass, to be honest, but yeah, okay. I think he was just trying to keep TLO on his toes. fourth base going down for TLO. TLO is just going for a very powerful macro game, while Drewbie apparently is messing up his army to advance. But let's take a look at the units. 10 Marines, 4 Siege Tanks, 6 Hellions against 26 Roaches and 2 Lings. So basically mass Roach for TLO at the moment, and now transitioning into some Infestor play, it seems. Look at him here, there's the first Infestor, establishing some Spine Crawlers here, static defenses way far away from the bases, interesting placement here. And now this Siege Tank's trying to reach and blast the Spine Crawlers, but TLO advancing with all his units, the Roaches destroying the Siege Tank standing there, while another group of Roaches is just chewing away, just melting away with his acid, all those Hellions and Marauders. Nice